Hello, everyone. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you with an update on this Monday afternoon. Now, we do have active weather moving through the central and southern plains with a couple of tornadoes that have touched down in that area near Oklahoma, not far from the Texas area, as well as Arkansas. And in the northern plains, some unsettled weather making its way here as well. All the details are coming up right now. You're watching Hutch's Weather. First, a note from my sponsors at Robert Gibbons Sons. Robert Gibbons Sons, premier Bryant dealer, whatever it takes. Give Robert Gibbons Sons a call today if you have any mechanical needs. Heating, air conditioning, electrical, and whether it's residential, whether it is a bigger job, they can get the job done. 100 plus years of experience in the Fargo-Moorhead area and beyond. Give them a call. Let them know Hutch sent you. Let's take a look at what's going on with regards to the national picture right now. Take a look at this. We do have a area of showers in the northeastern United States, quiet in the northern plains, the Pacific Northwest, in between systems right now. And we have wild weather ensuing as we work our way into the afternoon and early evening in the central plains. Taking you in just a little bit closer, we do have a couple of tornado reports that have taken place not far from Fayetteville. So as you look here, we do have a tornado report that was just outside of Fayetteville. This one coming in just moments ago at 4:08, 2 miles northeast of Lake Francis. It was a tornado. We cannot tell you the magnitude thereof of that tornado until a survey is done. That comes much later, but we can tell you it was a storm spotter that did observe that crossing the Highway 16, with debris lofted in the air, and that by definition is a tornado. That just happening as we take a look a little farther to the south. Northeast of Cookston by 8 miles, northeast of Cookston. This taking place in Oklahoma, in Cherokee County. A tornado was reported there, and this was a basic official from the National Weather Service observing that particular storm there as well. Tree damage reported in the area. Otherwise, this line of storms is pushing its way into northwest Arkansas, not far from Rogers, heading towards Rogers and Fayetteville, and heading in towards Fort Smith and Stillwell. Joplin, Missouri, seeing some very heavy rain and thunderstorm activity from the cells that are pushing their way into those areas as well. Up into Rolla in Missouri, as well as St. Louis, some sharp thunderstorm activity taking place there. Now, we do have some interesting weather going on out in the mountains of Albuquerque. Look at these all little asterisks out here. That is snowflake material falling from the skies, so frozen variety precipitation. How about 12 inches of that nonsense out there, reported by the Fire and Rescue Department out there in the San Miguel area, in San Miguel County. Whoo-wee, that's a lot of snow. Just outside of Santa Fe, we're talking about 2 inches. So a big difference there as we get up into a little bit of elevation. Outside of Albuquerque, we do have snowfall from 4 inches. Can you believe Albuquerque, New Mexico, measuring snow before, say, places like Fargo, North Dakota for the season? Yep, it's happening. 4 inches just outside of Albuquerque, a little farther outside, 2 inches reported here, not far from the Santa Fe County area. Now, in Torrance County, near Moriarty, that looks like your area, picking up a whole inch of snow, and down a little farther to the south near Encino, how about 2 inches of snow there. So wild weather going on across the United States, and some of this snowflake activity models yesterday were showing there would be a chance of that into the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma. So here we have cold air rolling up the high plains, mingling with hot, humid air in the central plains, and the setup is just right for some active weather there. We have had recent rainfall here in the upper Midwest, and here are a few reports from you uploading to hutchesweather.com. And again, as is always the case, I appreciate you all letting me know where you're watching from out here. I'm watching my channels right now as my eyes are wandering. I hope your November's off to a good start, and it's good to have you on board. If you're watching on my YouTube channel, I'd love to have you like the video. If you like the information provided here, let me know where you're watching from. And if you have a question, whether you're watching on Facebook or whether you're watching on YouTube, or on hutchesweather.com, let me know. Now, here's a look at some of the rainfall reports across the area in the northern plains. Now, we did get, let's see, Al reporting 52 100s in Horace, but some of the big winners were in Glencoe, Minnesota, not far from the Twin Cities, southern and central Minnesota. 1.5 inches, BA, thank you. Vashti, North Dakota, a ghost town, really. 1.5 inches reported by John. Walhalla, way up there near the international border. 1.2 inches, and that's not snow. That was much needed rainfall. in some areas here that were drought stricken. Now we do have nearly an inch in Kensal, North Dakota, Ostabrook, as well as New Rockford picking up about that same amount. Thanks for your reports, by the way, here across the Northern Plains. Crookston, Minnesota, half of an inch, 35/100ths. In Pelican Lake, Minnesota, as Lakes Country seeing temperatures going down and the fishing activity going up. How about North Fargo? 75/100ths reported there. That was by Sarah. Thank you so very much, Sarah. And then Pedro out measuring the rain out here in the South Moorhead area. Pedro, thank you, buddy. 0.6 of an inch reported out here. All right, let's get to a look at the forecast. And to do that, we're going to start with the Northern Plains, and then we'll look a little bit farther to the south. I'm letting that load up down to the south here as we take a look. Now, in the Northern Plains, what we are going to see is a chance for some of the unsettled weather to return to parts of the Dakotas. And model guidance will give us an idea on what's going on here. I'm going to pull up a model that goes out a little farther in time here, so bear with me while I do that. Now, what you're going to notice about this particular forecast model, again, we will see a storm system exiting the Rocky Mountains as we go through time here tonight. But for us, mainly quiet, a little bit of a wind. These isobars here, lines of constant pressure, the closer they are together, the faster that wind is blowing. This blue line here, that is a symbol of some thickness in the air, and it's a little bit cooler up there. And so the cooler air is behind or north of the blue line, milder air heading out toward the Twin Cities as we go toward the late evening hours. Now, look what's coming out to the left side of your screen here. A little dip in the isobar pattern out there. Some mountain snow in northeastern parts of Wyoming taking place there, as those folks will contend with more flakes even after the system that hit last week in the Black Hills, delivering some significant snowfall there. So more snow and mixed precipitation in the oil patch of North Dakota, snow in South Dakota, maybe in places like Hettinger and Bowman, a chance for some flaky weather there. And this system coming in two different areas. One wave pushing up north into the southern cities and Iowa with some heavier showers of rain working its way through. Where does it go? Does it make its way into the Red River Valley of North Dakota? Nope, it stays out to the west. But look at this, southeast Montana near Ekalaka or Joe, Montana. A chance for some flakes for you. Baker, Montana, out towards Billings. All that unsettled weather stays out to the west as this low pressure system, which is centered right here, will just kind of spin its wheels and dive straight south. Now, this model is saying there's a chance that a couple of flakes could mix in. This is the Highway 200 corridor across the Dakotas, but that is not until we get into the midday hour on your Wednesday. So much of Tuesday, the western part of North Dakota, unsettled, rain, sleet, snow, possibly in the morning hours as things get a little bit cooler there. All in all, it does look like we'll see some significant weather potential going through that area, and that's going to bring some much needed moisture to those areas. It doesn't look overly heavy, however, at this time. So that is a look there. Cheryl, good to have you on from Park Rapids. Lisa, hey, good to see you on as well. Great rain. We really needed it badly here across the valley, and that is exactly correct there. Now, let's take a look at what we have going on with regards to our forecast more nationally speaking, and particularly in the severe weather portions of the nation as well as ours. Let's go right to it here now as this is loading up still. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to it, and let's go. Let's see. I'm looking for the right product. Here it is. Thank you for your patience as I'm pushing lots of buttons right here on Hutch's weather. Okay, quiet weather here, the Northern Plains, the weather hiccup making its way through the western Rockies of Montana, and severe weather in the Central Plains. As we go through the evening, focusing on the north, we told you about the chance of rain out to the west as low pressure moves there. Down to the south, our storms that are severe now, south of Kansas City and heading into places like Springfield to Fort Smith and Springfield, Missouri, Springdale and Rogers area. Well, let's take a look at this. As we go through the evening hours, Fort Smith should see showers and storms pushing in as we get into the late evening hours tonight after dinner. Clinton, all the way out into parts of central Missouri near Columbia, we'll see these showers and thunderstorms move in the later nighttime hours. Let me just take the timeline up and put only the model data up there for you. Let's go ahead and zoom down here just a little bit and take a look. These storms drift and could be a factor all the way south into central central parts of Texas, San Antonio, Dallas. So a line of strong to severe storms are going to be possible. These isolated ones will have the best chance at seeing some of the activity become severe. And as we've seen already, tornado reports, so a few of those could become, or the potential for a few tornadoes still out there as we go into the late evening hours. What about overnight? This system will work its way off to the east, becomes a little bit more linear, but we still have some isolated cells out here. So some stout thunderstorm and very much needed rain in parts of central and southern Arkansas, near Little Rock, not far from Pine Bluff out there, and Hot Springs. So that's a look at that area. Look at what's going through Iowa. This is what we saw on the northern plains forecast, with showers and thunderstorms pushing through northern Iowa. Yes, some rumbles of thunder are in the forecast as we go into the Tuesday timeframe. Will you hear rumbles in the morning? It cannot be ruled out as we go through, but the better chance may come tonight with a few isolated cells. Some good and beneficial rain making its way through on your Tuesday in the Twin Cities and out toward the western reaches of the Great Lakes, before that system extends all the way up into Quebec, and it works all the way down in the form of a cold front through places like Nashville, Lexington, Kentucky, getting some much needed rain. Meanwhile, the storm system we alluded to a little bit earlier works its way through the northern plains. So here is a look at some of the forecast. Laura asking, are we going to get a blizzard anytime soon? You know what? There's some hints of a significant weather-making system. I will touch on this, Laura, momentarily if you stick with me here, and I will get you that. But I did even make a note of it. As we get to and through the middle of the month, the American forecast model is showing that we could have some very significant weather rolling out of the Colorado Rockies and into the northern plains. The track is all over the place, though. That's my hint to you. I'll have details on that here in just a minute. Watching from Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. Nathan, good to have you on board. Thanks for watching. Denise, I appreciate all of you. Just checking for some feedback or questions for those of you watching on the YouTube channel as well. Okay, that takes care of that. Let's go through some numbers here in the northern plains with regards to our forecast here in Fargo. 47 as you start your day, 48 in Grand Forks. Temperatures a little cooler on the Big Lake, Lake of the Woods, 44 degrees. Thief River Falls, 46. Babe the Blue Ox in Bemidji says 48 is great. Yeah, you just go ahead and keep the flannel on, Paul Bunyan. That'll make a nice for the morning. Now, out to the west, look at the Blue Pool out there. Cooler temperatures to start the afternoon hours there. I think I got the afternoon forecast ahead of the morning forecast. So afternoon temperatures in the 40s for most. A little cooler out to the west where that weather-making system is going to be spinning its way through. Tomorrow morning, on Tuesday morning, I'm expecting 20s in the forecast, very light winds, and it does look like we'll see the best chance at near 30-degree weather down in southern Minnesota, where we'll have more clouds associated with that system down in the central plains. That is going to bring a chance of rain, even thunderstorms into and around the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul heading through. Now look at our planning forecast. This is Fargo's 7-day outlook. Look at these average temperatures this time of the year. The records show our potential. So as a forecaster, one of the hints Hutch uses is look at those records. That's the warmest we've ever been on Tuesday's date, and the coldest we've ever been is -6. That at least sets some limits on what Hutch wants to forecast. 47, pretty okie dokie here in the northern plains. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a beautiful warming trend carrying us back well above average and into the mid-50s. And we stay parked there through your weekend. Our next chance of rain will come at us from the south. And that means our southern counties, the way it looks right now, will have the best chance along the South Dakota border into southern Minnesota. Now that system exits, and Hutch says here, changes late Monday, the 11th of November, as we'll have a chance to see some unsettled weather working its way in. And that's what I was speaking of a little bit earlier. So to answer a little bit of a question with regards to the long-range forecast, I'm going to pull up now a look at the American Forecast Model Guidance. Now, this system here, the one that we're really going to be keeping our eyes on as I load this up, we're going to sneak all the way out and show you that the pattern overall in the northern plains fairly quiet. The Rockies are going to see a few systems develop there as we go through the upcoming week. Now, pretty quiet with the storm track in Canada, really illustrative of the polar jet stream being parked up to the north. Once in a while, a little wave of energy breaks off into the Rocky Mountains parks here and kicks out some central plains storms. That's the way the pattern is looking overall. Now, this system here is a Colorado low. This is the time frame of the 8th and 9th of November. So as we go through the end of this work week, this system works its way into the central plains. Will be heavier at first, but being a cutoff system, runs out of energy as it's ejecting toward the Great Lakes. So now, our pattern out west stays very quiet as we head into the early part of next week and the 11th. But here we go. The wave moves off the Pacific Northwest. That wave starts to energize as it works its way into the Central Plains. And now let me get to a different model that will take me out a little farther in time. The other one's still coming in. Here we go. System moving off the Pacific Northwest focuses into the Rockies here. Do you see that low pressure system forming on the 15th? This one, the model now, the American model, has shown, look at this, strong thunderstorm and heavy rain potential in the northern and central plains. Look at that nonsense up there. The isobars aplenty mean a lot of wind. The blue, that's snow. Heavy bands of snow showing up in pink. This brighter pink, by the way, that's sleet and ice mix. So this is a system on about the 16th to 17th that will make its way from the Colorado Rockies into the northern plains. Yes, the American model has shown this for a couple of runs. It's shown it moving in different paths, though, and it's shown it moving through with different strength. It's so far out. As a meteorologist, I will tell you, there is no way to really set your plans or change your travel plans this early in the game. It's something Hutch is watching for you as we head into the middle of the month and the second half of the month going through. Where does it go? This model kind of drags it right out through Minnesota. Notice again, as it gets out and ejects, losing energy and becoming a little more spread out and kind of running out of gas, if you will, as it works its way into the Great Lakes. So that's a look at that. I hope that answers your question. Again, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I just want to take a moment and thank all of you for uploading your fantastic photos to hutchesweather.com. Hutchesweather.com. You can go there anytime, anywhere, and check out the latest weather here in the Northern Plains. The interactive radar is a great place to check out what's going on right now, no matter where you are. Now you can zoom, you can tilt, you can sneak right into the active line of tornado-producing storms that are punching into northwest Arkansas, southeast Missouri, and over the Joplin area right now. If you happen to be using Hutch's Weather while I'm live, like right now, look it tells you. Click on the button. You'll watch this live broadcast now on my website, hutchesweather.com, anytime, anywhere. Hey, if you have youth in the Fargo, Moorhead area, northern and western Minnesota, and the eastern half of North Dakota, sign up to be a Hutch's Weather Kid thanks to my sponsors at Luther Family Ford. And in fact, that's right where we do our weather broadcasts right there. So sign up for that and your photos can be uploaded down at the bottom of the page. I do want to share a couple with you that have been uploaded today and they've been fantastic. Now we're seeing a lot of gorgeous blue jays up here in the Northern Plains. Notice those. Tiffany capturing these in the Comstock, Minnesota area. Look at that, eating some seeds out there, just having a grand old time and capturing some pictures of that and some much needed rain, as we talked about early in this broadcast. Upwards of an inch of rain reported here. This is in the Kensal area. Bubba, thank you for uploading your photo right there. So again, inviting you to head over to hutchesweather.com. Check it out. Upload photos. Let me know what your weather's doing by snapping a shot and uploading that or a video. Again, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I sure appreciate you slamming that follow button on Facebook. It really does help me out. If you're watching on YouTube, please consider hitting the subscribe button. And thanks to my friends over at the Blue Eyed Girl Salon for providing Hutch's fancy locks of hair and keeping me looking halfway decent. In fact, outstanding. Thanks so very much. Have a wonderful afternoon. I'll check back in a little later today.